Ah, alrighty. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam, shehakol nהיה bidvarei,
Amen.
l'chaim, 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 l'bracha. Okay. So we began yesterday new mimer. V'yu chaye Sarah meya shana v'esrim shana. So the life of Sarah was 127 years, 100 years, 20 years, 7 years. The life of the days of the life of Sarah, the years of the life of Sarah. So that's why the repetition. And, why is it specifically only Sarah that we have her lifetime recorded? So the Zohar explains, Hava, Eve came and had a downfall for the serpent. Noah came and had a downfall through getting drunk with wine. And Sarah came and she had her come down, but it was the come down was an ascent. And that was through the house of Pharaoh, Avimelech, a descent. That I said accent. Okay, sorry. Descent, but conquered the descent and had an ascent upwards. So that's why it says specifically her that, therefore she had supernal days. Her days were supernal, her accomplishment, and that's why her years are mentioned, her life. And that's why it repeats the days of Sarah's life, because the days of Sarah's life were supernal, because she had, again, a descent and went over. So says the Rebbe that's the Zohar, right? That's the Zohar. Actually, that's the Rebbe giving the explanation in the Zohar. Yes, or based on the Rebbe Rashab, actually, whose birthday will be on Thursday. It'll be only his 164th birthday. Yeah. So that which happens to our forefathers and foremothers is not only a lesson for us, but it's an empowerment for us. Oh, so first of all, we have to understand what is the connection between Eve, Noah, and Sarah, that they're mentioned together, right? There must be some kind of connection. It's not just that, two of them failed in their mission and one didn't. There must be a deeper connection. And so this is not a teachings that's not just a lesson in life, but actually what we call an empowerment, and it's kayach. Especially we're talking about mothers and fathers, they for sure empower the children who we are, B'nai Israel, the children of Israel. So we need to understand that. Okay, so the Nekudas Inyan. The point is, L'chaim. Is as follows. As explained by the Rebbe Rashab in his discourse, right, that divine service has to be done with simcha. with joy. As the verse says in Tehillim, you say it every day, Ivdu Hashem b'simcha, serve God with joy. It's in chapter 100 in Psalms. And we say it after the Baruch Shalom on page 30, the bottom of page 30 in the Chabad Blue Siddur. And serving with joy God is a huge principle, as is brought down about the Arizal, and brought and the explanation of the Arizal on the verse in Deuteronomy that says, because you did not serve God, Hashem your God, with joy. Because and the Arizal explains over there, because you didn't serve God with joy because of all the good that you had, with all of the good that you had, from all the good that you had. And as explained elsewhere, that the Arizal that says that he merited to divine inspiration, Ruach HaKodesh as it's called, because he had the joy of doing a mitzvah. And since a story that's told in Torah, the story that's told is a lesson for every single one of us, right? So from a story, we need to take heed and learn from it, right? It's not just a story out there. It's a story that was told, a story that we know, and therefore something that we take a lesson in from, right? From the Arizal, and as Torah tells us, right? Now, when Aveda means divine service, is done with joy, then our divine service is complete. Now, this is particularly true of the Jewish people, because they were only created to serve God. There's nothing else but. Ultimately, it's something. In other words, that's all the Jew was created for, is the divine service, or as opposed to, I guess if you're not Jewish, it means that it's the ultimate in life, but might not be the only thing in life. There's a nuance of a difference there. It's the ultimate. And as a result, when we serve in such a manner, we actually bring the world to its fulfillment, right? Serving with joy. Now, what does that mean, that we bring the world to its ultimate fulfillment, even though the world was created complete, right? It was created complete, especially as is known that God created the world because his nature is to do good. He wants good. Well, if he wants good, then he created good. The nature of his goodness is to bestow goodness. So he bestowed goodness in creation, to begin with, in a complete way. So there's an important point over here. So even though, excuse me, there's a wholeness to creation we see, right? Everything yeah, is wunderbar in God's creation. Yet through our avodah, through our divine service, we bring, um, we add to, we add to the completion. In other words, there's a completion in the fact that God, his nature is to do good. So therefore, in his bestowing of creation, there's a goodness there. There's a wholeness, a completeness there. Yet we add still something, right? In other words, the completion is from the vantage point of creation. Everything's there in creation. Think about it, right? It's it's all been given. It's all there. But we add to the completion. In other words, we add something more than is just from the nature of the world. And since that, right, so we're adding to what's there. So what adds to what we do? Simcha, right? How there's the I guess the important point to appreciate over here is that you look at the world and wow, God made an amazing, you know, if you will, a perfect world in a sense, right? But we add to it still. After all, that's what he created us for. He didn't create us just to be an extension of the animal kingdom, right? That doesn't serve God, right? They serve their nature. We have to, so we're adding to creation. So what were we all created for? Just to serve God. So we have to do something in that service that's also addition. And what's that? Your joy. Because right now you could be learning Torah, right? After this you could go. We're going to go pray. We're going to daven. So that's divine service, but it's not complete unless it's with joy. Unless it's with joy. So it so it so what comes out now is that not that there's a perfection of your service, and that's when you do it with joy, right? But the joy in the divine service is also a must. And therefore, when you're lacking in the joy of the divine service, right, there's actually a punishment, as we mentioned in Deuteronomy, because you didn't, right? In Deuteronomy, it's Parshas Kisavai, which delineates 98 curses that Jewish people get, right? It's the it's the portion of the curses, and the curses come, um, and not fully, but partially at least, as a result that we don't serve, the Jewish people don't serve with joy. They don't serve God with joy. So it means that it's essential then. It's not like adding something. It's essential. Wow. So why is it essential? In other words, it's essential that we add to God's world, right? In his world that he created that's complete. We add to the completion, right? That's our divine service. And that divine service to add has to be with joy because that's the only way you're adding. You might say, what do you mean? Every time I give charity, every time I pray, the fact that I'm just doing it. No, because since there's a wholeness already in God's creation, and we're adding, so just like Simcha is adding to the mitzvah, it becomes essential in order to add God's light to this world that it's done with Simcha, done with joy. So it becomes that really how we draw the light of God into this world is not just in the fact that we do the mitzvah, but that we're doing it with joy. Oh boy. Now, at the same time, in that verse that we mentioned, they'd serve God with joy. It also says, Hashem to serve God. Actually, a different verse, I'm sorry. And then it says, Hashem serve God with awe. And actually, in our very verse, it says, Vigila beroda, and reveal with trepidation. What does that mean? So I'm like, hey, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to have joy or are we supposed to have awe, trepidation? And how does awe and trepidation fit in with joy? Like they said, they're kind of two opposite ideas. And they're in the same verse in Tehillim. So what does that mean? For that, you'll have to come back. Yeah, it's actually an intriguing idea because we were saying the word joy. What does that mean? We'll have to